Yeah, he didn't get up like no young old.
It's a capsule.
It's not something that you want, but it's inadvertent. There's no way to achieve anything and it be easy. It's just not. Because if it is easy and it doesn't hurt, it's not an achievement. It's just a given. And I think that it's kind of, it's more of how you deal with it though. You got to accept it. Don't argue with it. Embrace it and actually use it. Use it as a fuel. I think that like on the inside of us, like you go through so much shit, is that whole thing when I was talking about like to be a phoenix, you know, you get burnt down. And if you made it the right shit, you'll stand up again. And if you ain't made the right shit, you won't. I mean, that's it's kind of shitty, but it's the fucking truth. And then when you do stand the hell up, you're a whole different person. And just imagine it, just the analogy of being burnt down like a phoenix. That's just excruciating fucking pain in every way you can think of, you know. And God forbid if you did show up with a pussy heart. I mean, I don't know how to sugarcoat this shit, you know. You just ain't gonna make it, you know. Like if you know you seen the movie Gladiator? Yeah. Russell Crowe in 2000, one of my favorite movies. There's a scene in there. As long as I live, I'll never forget. You know, when he got captured, and the very first time they're about to go out, and they got to do battle, and he kept quiet. He didn't let them people know who he was and whatnot. They didn't realize he was a general. He had all these goddamn fights and all these wars and shit. So he's standing there right before they're about to go outside, and it's quiet. You can hear the audience and shit, but it's quiet. And he's standing there, and you hear this trickling sound, and he kind of look, what the fuck is this? And he looked down, and the dude behind him was pissing on himself. So, and I knew what he was going to do, and I'm like, all right, because I still think like a warrior, still think like a Marine. It's like, okay, because this is like showtime. And the door popped open. And if you remember in that scene, as soon as it popped open, they went through. The first thing he did, he got as far away from that motherfucker as he could, because that weak dude was going to get him killed. And he died first. He just didn't have it. And it's too damn late to fix it then, because it's like, it's showtime. So it's just one of them deals. Like, the dude that lost it, didn't know what to do with the pain. The fear, it crippled him. But whereas, you know, the general's like, kiss my ass. I done done this 1,000 times. Fuck you. I'm going to fight you. You know, I don't care how this going to come out, but you're gonna feel my shit in the process. If you better than me, you going to come out on top. If you ain't, I got your ass. And I honestly, I'm not kidding you. We're made the same way, you know. And the very first time, no, not to segue too much, but the very first time when I saw him a video, and I listened to him talk, and I think I told you, your demeanor, your voice, your projection, your presence, he sounds just like the best commanding officer I ever worked for. A brother too, Colonel Hutchinson. I'm gonna say his fucking name. Hopefully he listens to goddamn podcast. Maurice B. Hutchinson. That was a badass motherfucker. And you remind me of him. Like in spirit and everything. Like sometimes, I mean, that's my dad used to say, there's such thing as there's a man and there's a man's man. That's one of them motherfuckers. So, you know, and so you know, and like I said, not like I'm like bouncing all over the place and this kind of thing, but that is how pain is, and I don't think that we're masochistic by nature. I sure as shit don't think that we're chosen sadists either. It's just that it's a circumstance, and the question is, the fuck you do? Do you stand or you lay down? Because it's not like, I'm saying when he was born, he didn't pick and choose where and how he was born. You just fucking show up. And the same with me. You know, and I remember having, you know, debates and stuff when I started realizing, I started waking up like, you know, the year I was born, where I was born, what was going on around me. And it made me question myself, like, why are we here? You know, and then not to beat it death, but you know, why we so fucking poor? Why we live in this shack? Why ain't we got decent food? Why is everybody shitting on us? What are we doing wrong? And yet, you know, mom, do good, do right, and all this stuff. Well, I'm doing good and doing right, but everybody's shitting on us anyway. That's pain in itself. And you wonder, you don't know if something wrong with you. You know, it's like, how do you justify this shit? Yeah. And then at the same time, how do you avoid becoming a problem in the environment itself? Like, you know, with inner city problems, like a lot of times, it's almost self-perpetuating. It's so bad, you can't get out of the goddamn thing. You know, you don't, if, you know, not to get with religion also shit, but if it was such thing, I remember telling one of these, swear to God, it was a racist classmate I had, because he started some shit with me, and I knew it was just because I was black. And I said, man, I'm going to get philosophical on your ass. We were seniors in high school. And I said, I'm not religious. I said, but here's the deal. I said, let's say, per se, prior to us being born, I don't think I told God, say, you know what? I want to be born a black man in Alabama in the fucking 60s. I said this to them. It was two of them, actually. And I said, and I'm pretty damn sure you didn't say, hey, God, I want to be born a white guy here. I said, motherfucker, we just showed up the way we did. I said, so in this setting, you lucky and I ain't. And that's it. I said, but I got to deal with it. I said, this ain't never wiping off. What do you want? Of course, he left me the fuck alone. But he never thought about it. Yeah. So that's another pain. It's just, man. And again, like I was saying, you know, the sad piece is a big proportion of my classmates didn't make it. Because all of that, it wears you down. Just that aspect wears you down. You get caught up in self-hate. You know, we talked about it the last time. You know, it just creeps in. You know, you dumb nigga, you nigga. And then they fed into it.
The old people used to say, you cannot appreciate the sunshine without a little rain. So I think it's absolutely necessary for me to help somebody else who might be going through something to have gone through something myself. Yeah, I can't tell you how to go through if I ain't never been through. So
yeah, and I feel the same. It's funny. It was 5 or 6 when my dad had to sit down and tell me what it meant, and there was a whole circumstantial thing happened. You know, I ran into, and I think I talked about this on one of the podcasts when I ran into one of my classmates, because in Campbell at the time, you know, the money was being pulled out because the majority black, and they moved it to the next town. So the poor white people, they still had to stay there until they could do better. And so one of my buddies was a little white kid, and we knew we were different, but kids are kids, you just fucking play. And we just had fun and shit, you know. Yeah, we were about 5 or 6, it was first grade, I think. And I ran into him and his dad with my granddad, my big daddy called, because that's my dad, big dad. So I'm with him, we're in this country store, and I see him. David, hey, David, hey, Ruben. We run up to each other and hug. Man, next thing you know, his dad grabbed him by the back and snatched him right up off the floor, pulled him away from his shit. And he was like, you know, he didn't think about it. And I thought it was a little weird, but I didn't think about it. We still talking about it. And next thing you know, he goes, hey, David, you'll be quiet. And then, we kids, we playing around. And then that was the first time I saw, so David's dad is a little bit younger than my dad, not about the same age, whatever. But my big daddy, that's my granddad, so he's older than both of them. He's older to be both of them dad. All of a sudden, I see my big dad become subservient to this man. Because he likes, my dad's Superman, he's Superman. All of a sudden, he was like a little puppy to this dude. He was like, yassa this and no to that and this and that. And I looked up and I said, hey. And Big Daddy slapped me in the mouth to shut me up, like backwards this way. I was just like, what the hell? You know? And this went on for a bit. And then this man talking down to my big dad, bad. And my big dad, yassa, like he just submit, you know? And I never seen that before. And then it was done, and he was sad. I could feel it first time. He was dead quiet, and he was just hurt. Then it didn't say anything. We finished. We got out the store, got in the truck. He didn't say a damn word. Like it was like we just left a funeral. And we riding back, and I knew, like, stay in the child's place. I shut the fuck up. He slapped me in the mouth, so I shut up. And then right before we got to the house, he said, Junebug, that's my nickname. He said, Junebug. He said, when you get home, tell your daddy what you saw. I said, sir? He said, yeah. He said, just everything you saw, everything you remember from what you saw, you tell your dad. And I said, I'm going to let him explain to you. All you got to do is just tell him. He'll know. Because I wanted to ask him to tell me. He's like, no, I'm going to let your dad explain that to you. Man, I get home, I told exact story just like that. He said, all right, Junebug, sit down. And I'm sitting there, you know. He said, well, Junebug, we're what's called niggers. I go, what's that? He said, well, that's what racist white people call us. I said, what does it mean? He said, I don't know what it means. He said, but I know what it stands for is that somehow they're above and we're less just because of the people. I said, that don't make any sense. So I know it don't make any sense, but it's still the truth. And then he said, I'm going to tell you what. He said, that's your little buddy? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, he said, I'm pretty sure when you go back to school, next time you see him, he's going to be different. I said, why is that? He said, so I'm pretty sure his dad going to tell him not to be friends with you no more, because I'm sure his dad didn't know y'all were friends. I said, nah. He goes, hope not, but we'll see. Dad was like that. He didn't push. He was real mellow, easy about it, and say what he said, and that's it. Not debating, not arguing, nothing. I said, so I went. I saw David, and he was in tears. He said, Ruben, my dad told me I ain't supposed to play with you no more. I said, that's funny. I said, that's what my dad told me that was going to happen. He goes, yeah. He goes, why? I said, I don't know. He said, y'all niggers. I said, that's what my dad said. Dude, we're 5, 6 years old. Like he said, this shit still cool. Because it stays with you. Because you're like, what the fuck is this? And he just cried and I cried. We didn't know what to do. So we hugged each other and shit. And I said, well, what we do? So I don't know, but I know we ain't supposed to be friends. So we just we act like we weren't friends in front of everybody. But we were friends. And then they got a little money and they left and never seen them again. And I never forgot that shit. And maybe, just maybe, that and as well as I've had a few, you know, a school teacher that was white and this and that and certain kind, that gave a shit and helped. So I was able to see, don't wrap everybody up in this mess. Because there was plenty of white people, thank God, that did help us. It's them shitty other motherfuckers that you got to know how to, you got to watch yourself with them. Because that, you know, there was massacres and shit there in Alabama all the time. And I explained like there was, so that's the talk at 6 years old. Then by the time hormones kicked in, 12, 13, there was a whole different talk. Yeah. He said, okay, you starting to look cute. Girls going to start liking you. You're going to start liking girls. Stay away from this and stay away from that. And if it comes, I'm like, no, they were dead serious. Like, they looking at me like, if you don't do this shit, you going to die. You ain't going to make it. And then, so you're getting all the black history and Alabama history and the black history education along the way. And most of it's bad. Like the violence and shit that's done just because of this right here. I mean, yeah, you get the stuff that, you know, who's become an astronaut and who's doing this great stuff, but you got to understand how they got there. Because they went through it too. They had to navigate through the N word and what it really means. Like, you know, when someone back there says it, there's like nothing cool about it. Like it's gutturally painful. Because, you know, when I say stuff like, man, people will look at you, treat like you less than a damn cockroach. Only because of your skin tone. No matter how educated you are, no matter how clean your background is, no matter how productive you are, how well you help people and all some shit, you still nigger. What does that mean? And it's almost like a mental and verbal, spiritual, whatever, confidence thing so they can step up. Well, you still less than me because I can say that. No, you keep saying that, but you ain't though. But like I'm saying, you know, the power with words, that's a powerful word. And depending on, as you were saying, like where you from and how you grew up, oh, no. Because I've been called that too many times and I knew what it meant. And there's just way too many times. I'm pretty sure you had to go through the same damn thing where you had to stop and think like really, really hard on everything you've been taught. Like, okay, if you act out now, you'll win this second, but you're going to lose your future. So you eat crow, carry on. eat crow, carry on. But those scars stay with you. So every time you hear it, it's like almost like electric shock, like, oh shit, that again. You know, and like you say, I tried to explain the same thing to some of the younger dudes. I'm like, bro, I get it. I said, and I ain't gonna say I'm one foot in, one foot out. Like, I understand it. I said, but I still I feel pain you don't feel. I said, because if you can say it comfortable, clearly you don't feel the pain. I said, but when I hear it, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. I love Tupac to death and shit, but, you know, he'll say nigga, not nigger. And I'm like, yeah, but I have to rub through it.
I remember my mom and my brother and I, when we came to California from Arkansas, we had to ride the back of the bus. And there was, I remember, colored-only water fountains and colored-only bathrooms in Arkansas. I was so glad that we moved. We was moving up, you know, like the Jeffersons. We moved up from Pine Bluff, Arkansas to Watts. So that was a big move up for us. Watts was a big move up. And shortly after we got there, I mean, in 1965 was the Watts riots. And, you know, black folks had got tired of, you know, the situation they were in, frustrated, and started tearing shit up. And we were there, and I remember that very well. My dad's a preacher, and he was going to church. I don't care what was happening. We had the National Guard, tanks and shit on the sidewalk. And this motherfucker, I didn't mind if he went to church, but he want to take us with him. I'm like, man, leave me at home. Shit, you go ahead. And I remember soldiers and stuff stopping the car. Hey, where you going? And my dad, hey, I'm on my way to church. And I'm like, shit. All these tanks and shit take me back home. You go ahead. But yeah, I couldn't say shit. Say shit, I was going to get what Big Daddy did to him. A slap right in the mouth. Don't you better not ask no why. Because I fucking said so. That's why. Ask me no shit like that. Okay, I was born in 59, so they were still calling folks the N-word when I was, and it wasn't in no rap song either. It wasn't no rap back then. So the N-word has a whole entire different meaning for me. I remember being 5 years old and asking a gentleman, I didn't call him a gentleman at the time, but asking a gentleman the price of a toy. And he told me that he told me to go away N-word because you ain't got no money no way. And I'll be 60 my next birthday, and I still remember that. So I don't see. All the videos you see of me, I be cussing my ass off. I say anything under the sun, but you ain't gonna hear one N-word in not one of those videos. And for me, they say, well, we'll take the power from the word if we just use it, use it. And I heard young people say that if we use it over and over again, then we take the power from. That don't work for me. Yeah. The word is just as powerful as it was when I was 5. I still remember it, and I don't say it. But that's me. Yeah, words are very, 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 very powerful. Very powerful.
Yeah. When when Bill had the podcast one in Beverly Hills, I'd seen his a YouTube video maybe I think like a year and a half prior, and I was sitting there at my desk. I was like, damn, and that's when I'm telling you that I thought of Colonel Hutch. I said, this motherfucker's like Colonel Hutch, but you like a big mean ass for Colonel Hutch, but still like the same goddamn person, And I'm like, holy shit. Because that man was my mentor during the early 90s and shit. There's a Shield, there's a Stone Smile, all those stuff. Like, he's just a badass brother you can look up to, highly accomplished and just a man's man, And it's been a long time since it's like we need to see ourselves sometimes, not just see everybody else, and because it inspires you in a way. So that was a lot of years went by before I seen another brother that made me go, holy shit. Like I respect everybody, but admiration, no, that's kind of like we'll see, you know. And it stayed, and then one day Bill walked in, and he was like, "Hey man, you know, I'm doing a podcast thing," because he's always doing stuff and whatnot, you know, and I respect it. But that's it, you know. There's Goldberg world and then there's mine. It's like you know, it's okay, right? And he just made mention. He said, "Hey, you know, I'm doing this podcast. Say, you ever heard of a CT Fletcher?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, I'm gonna do a podcast with him. You want to come?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" Like shit, you know. It's like when, you know, and told me the date and shit. I'm like, "Nah, I'm there," you know. And went, and then you, your wife, and your son came in and said hello and this and that. And then I don't know. It was their podcast. I was just a third wheel. And next thing you know, I got sucked into it. It was kind of funny. And but we all, you know, we can relate. We're men that have lived and experienced some shit and stuff. And then we speak the same language. That I mean, like exact same language. It's almost like coming from the kind of a same base background. You know, like it's funny how it's almost 10-year difference. But during that time, so from 59, 68, 69, 70 or so, it's like, so the civil rights movement and all that stuff had happened during the time I was born. And then we always say, yeah, to change the law, but didn't change people's mind. That shit was still around. And in Alabama, get the fuck out of here. Like they were proud of that shit. They took the signs down that said colored and white. But the sign, I remember going to search store, they were laid off to the side, rusted out. They pulled it away from the wall, but they like, just to remind you. You know, so I'm just saying that the fact that you can't pretend. You can't. So if a dude came to me and he's kind of talking, yeah, you know, I've been through it. There's a feel, there's a tone, there's a whole lot of stuff. Like if there's incongruency, it's like, man, you full of shit. You lying. And we can tell. If you live that, you can't.
You can feel it.
Oh, you wish you didn't. It's that bad, and that's the thing that's confusing. So anyway, you radiate it, and he's like, okay, I see. Yeah, you know, and some people, you know, I'm pretty sure like we would be at a place of people if they talked on a subject, and if there's somebody on a soapbox and like run their mouth, and everything they're saying is backward, but everybody else don't know, we'd look right at each other and go, the fuck?
It's a fake motherfucker right here.
Whoo, like, bruh. And so we just clicked right off the bat. And I told him before he left, I said, man, I know it may sound weird. I said, but I swear to God, you're the big brother I never had and always wanted.
And he talked, like I said, it was Bill Goldberg's podcast. But when Ruben, I don't know who drawed him into the conversation with me or Bill. Oh, it's Bill.
Bill did.
Yeah, but as soon as he started talking, I said, damn, he sound like me. I said, he sounds just like me. And then Bill told me, you know, about his military background. I said, okay, that's part of it. Yep, that's part of it right there. Yeah. It have to start there. It has to start in the mind. I mean, before you do any action, it has to start up here. I tell people when even in physical training, before you can even do the physical part, you got to have a made up mind. People say, I just can't diet, CT. I just can't diet. There's no way I can diet, and that's because not just the outside is fat. They got a fat fucking brain. The brain is fat. You got to train the brain first. I always tell them, train your brain first. Get that in line, because I don't care how good your diet is and how wonderful and how well it works. If you don't stick to that motherfucker, it ain't gonna work. It ain't no good. Right. So you got to train this here first. Right. Now let little brother finish it up.
I mean, it's true. Just mentality. But the motivation and the drive got to be there, and it's and it makes no difference whatever the hell it is. You know, you pick your destination. Where you trying to go? You know, and then we talked about this a couple podcasts back. Okay, where you trying to go? Okay, you got it now. How bad you want it? Like really gotta sit and think on it and this and this and this and this and this. And you know, his is a phrase of no excuses. No, choose to get it. Or my mom would say, should have get off the pot. Like don't be halfway in. You either gonna do it or you ain't gonna do it. Then you do it, put both feet into it, and just stay there and just grind the shit out. But he is right. Like it's harder mentally than the physical, because once the mental is made up, the physical just fall right in line. So it's that is the hard part. Get that mind right. Get that mind right, and then you know, more podcasts back. Like I said, that the fact that there's so much work got to be put into it. That's a deterrent with most people. Most people are lazy. That's the explanation. It's not an excuse. It's just an explanation. Lazy. Don't want to put that work. It's almost like when I'm teaching class and you know someone wanted like they like to see how I move and this and that. And I'm like, do you know how many million times I've done this shit though? Like, god damn, you know. And I'm like, so what? You think I'm gonna be a wizard and come up with a wand and go bing? Okay, they'll be cool with that.
Yeah, they would be.
They'd be cool as shit with that.
They would.
You ready to get in the ring?
Be like, oh fuck, yeah, that's all I got to know. You got to put those millions and millions of time in too, man. And well, you know, you don't really want it. You like looking at it, and you fantasize and want to be what you don't really want to be. Because if you did, you'd be okay with the effort that it takes that comes with it. You know, and that's mental. That's mind. Well, okay, let's say for those that saw the most recent fight with Crawford and Terrence Bud Crawford and what's the dude's name he fought? Benavidez?
Yes.
Benavidez. Okay. I tried because I'm in this thing 24/7, so I see through the dirt. I catch the crumbs. I see things that a lot of people miss. The one thing I wanted to capture, but I couldn't do it fast enough with my damn phone camera or whatever, was the look on Bud's face just before. And it's the same look he has every time right before it's like go time. Like he goofy, happy-go-lucky, he'll talk shit, whatever, you know, just friendly fuck, smiling and whatnot. But then when it's time, all of a sudden it goes, shoom. It's like a Walking Dead look on his face. And I've always said, I remember back when I can't remember who he fought way back when he just, because nobody knew who the fuck he was. Like he beat some dude he wasn't supposed to and been beating everybody's ass since. Yeah. And after the third one I watched, I said, that dude's a throwback. He hard as fuck on the inside. He's like I said, Bernard Hopkins and what's his name that I can see him, middleweight.
Marvin
Hagler. Like I remember Hagler said one time, some fight, he said, man, you gonna beat me, you better get that corner post and go upside my fucking head, because other than that, I'm gonna kill you. And he meant that shit. That's some mental strength. They just different. Almost like Archie Moore.
Yeah, boy.
Because I remember listening to him talking like some of the old grainy footage and whatnot, and he was country as shit too. He'd be like, yeah, you know, all them, he called them, what did he call them back then? Them, I'm fitting to do this. I ain't finna do shit. Like they talk, go do. You see, they just hard. So the body athleticism pretty much the same. It's how they are here and here. It's just like it's hard to stop motherfuckers like that. So now you can't stop them. You gotta kill them. It's just like what I was saying with me, Manu, and Danny. You know, at our age now, we still like hungry for shit. Stop us, kill us. Other than that, make sure you don't miss when you shoot.
I heard somebody say you can teach technique, but you can't teach tough.
No, not possible. Not possible. Just, I would say, if nothing else, I hope that, and it makes no difference what venue you're in and what you do. I don't care what sport, what this and that. Young dudes, good God, two things. One, start working on being a man's man, or try to be a man's man, because that seemed like that done got lost. And then work on being a gentleman. They kind of go hand in hand. But the man's man, I want to say is, you know, you get your hands dirty and do what the hell needs to be done. Being a gentleman, I'm kind of alluding to clean up well when you're done. You know, I mean, you go work your ass off, but then clean up and be a gentleman about things. You know, and this wave, I feel there's this weird ass wave that it's okay to be distasteful and disrespectful to ladies and this and that. Bullshit. Everybody got a mom, a grandma, a girlfriend, wife, sister, niece, nephew, nieces, cousins, you know. Okay, so what? It's selective. You know, you shit on this woman, but trying to be respectful to others. You can't have it both ways. You know, respect is respect. You know, and this rampant nonsense of every discussion, every opinion is partisan is bullshit. That's a cop-out, an excuse to justify indecent behavior. Straight indecent behavior. It's almost like some people's conduct is going to be given a pass, but that same conduct, it ain't going to be given to the guy across the street. Then why the fuck is it okay with, it's not. That's the point. It's like enough's enough, you know, and it's almost like, as simple as can be, you know, my dad would say, treat people the way you want to be treated. It's like, all right, motherfucker, if you're okay with treating people like that, when they treat you the same way, smile. Oh, that never happened. Then why the fuck you doing it?
This is CT Fletcher, and you are listening to the Y.O.D podcast, motherfucker.
It's a capsule.
Y.O.D, Y.O.D, Y.O.D. I'm the young old dude with the new ology. Leader of the new school, old mentality. Got the loose Twitter fingers. You following me? Yeah. Over your head, got too much knowledge. Graduated in games, season no salting. Outlast today, don't need no nostalgic. I'm over 38, performing like a freshman in college. I'm the youngest old dude you know. Motive with life change, effortless with the flow. Atta boy, oh, you ain't know? This man against time, and this time just had to go. Let me vest 20 pounds of haters and run some more. Steadily getting the lap, I stride around goals. Lost it, I'm found it and winning. How I catch a bunch of L's, I quarterback the beginning. Yelling Y.O.D. Yeah, I'm a young old dude. Learn the rules like a pro, taking students to school. Y.O.D. Up in the gym, dropping mad jewels. Still hungry, stay seasoned, play mad fool. Y.O.D. Stay on my grind, it's that mastermind. Like wine, I get better with time. Y.O.D. Oh, you ain't heard about me. Got everybody in the city saying Y.O.D.